What's up, guys? Zach Barnes here for the WT Sports Network, welcoming you to this week's edition of Heard That. First off, WT football honoring Barons this past weekend, not only with a halftime ceremony, but also with a big win over Tarleton State. Texans fought back in the second half to make it a close game and give themselves a chance. The WT defense and a big run by Devon Pay ended up shutting that down.
We just talked all week about having to stand your ground. You know, it's going to be one of those games you're going to have to stand your ground and in one of the three phases and say, hey, no, we're going to stop the momentum swing right now, and we're going to make a play to flip it back for us. And it was neat to see because we did it on offense, we did it on defense, and we did it in special teams at some point in time during the game to kind of slow their momentum and say, well, you know, hey, we're here to make a play, and we did it. And so it was neat to see the kids do that.
The 37-25 win for the Buffs gives them a 2-0 mark in LSC play with a 3-1 overall right before they head and play for the Wagon Wheel at Eastern New Mexico.
No, they have a hill for it. You know, it's propped up there. And so, you know, that's what I explained to all the new coaches last night. I said, if you don't understand the importance of the Wagon Wheel game, you need to go watch what it looks like to win it and then go watch what it looks like to lose it. Because I've been on all the sides of it now. And ooh, baby, it's not what you want to see when you watch those other guys run across that field and go get it. You know, nobody's shaking hands. Nobody's waiting on anybody. We're going to run and go get it. And so you want to be on that side that's able to run up that hill and go grab it.
There was no lack of drama at the box this weekend with the Lady Buffs playing 2 5-set matches against Tarleton State and Angelo State. First on Friday, Lady Buffs with a 5-set loss to Tarleton State. Tarleton State played very well in the first 2 sets, but sets 3 and 4 went to the Lady Buffs, where they did eventually fall in set 5.
It was just painful because it was another thing where Tarleton's a great team. And they actually are probably, at this stage of the season, the better team. But it doesn't matter. We had an opportunity to win. And 8 of the last 10 points were errors on our side. And so when you go back through, that's how most of our losses have happened. Besides the UNA match, Ashland match was pretty even. All of our losses were we had the lead, and then we just, once the pressure starts coming, you know, we implode. So part of that's youth, part of that's understanding the expectations. So
Lady Buffs rebounding on Saturday with a big upset win over the number 8 ranked Angelo State Rambells. After a tight set 1 victory for the Lady Buffs, the Rambells came back to win set 2 and 3. The Lady Buffs would not be held down as they went to extra points in the 4th set and eventually won the 5th set 15-11.
What was neat about the Angelo was, in a way, equal, if not better, opponent. And we were gassed. Angelo had a pretty easy win Friday night. So on many levels, that win was big. It was sort of a justification, you know, and it'll get the kids to keep buying in and keep working hard. So it was big on many, many levels. But if you really think about it, how Friday happened and then come back to do that against a better foe, I think it says a lot about the one thing the girls haven't done all year, they haven't quit.
Next up for the Lady Buffs, they actually play a game tonight at UT Permian Basin. Of course, you can catch live stats on GoBuffsGo.com, and then the Lady Buffs will see Western New Mexico and Eastern New Mexico on Friday and Saturday here at the box. Buff Soccer returning home from a solid road trip this last weekend. First, they went down to Laredo, where they took on Texas A&M International. There, they got a 2-1 victory over the Dust Devils. And after that, the Buffs went to San Antonio to take on St. Mary's, where they ended up with a 3-0 win over the Rattlers.
It was a very good weekend. It's been slowly coming together, and 2-3 in a row now. And you know, very happy with the way the team defended and the amount of scoring chances we're creating. So, you know, going in the right direction, and that's all you can ask for. And you know, just now it's changing gears and get ready for Thursday night.
Simone Saba with a solid weekend over the road trip, as Saba was named Heartland Conference Player of the Week. Saba had 2 goals, 1 in each game, and the 1 goal for each game ended up being the game winners. The Buffs will now return home this weekend with a Thursday-Saturday matchups with Lubbock Christian on Thursday, and then the Saturday game being against UT Permian Basin.
Yeah, LCU, they have a new coach, so they're trying to feel their way through the process. I think they're 2 and 3 or 2 and 4. They've given up quite a few goals, haven't scored a lot, which means they're going to be dangerous. And again, you know, we've been working all morning and just gathering information on them and stuff like that. And again, you know, we just try to find out who who everybody feels their special players are and set pieces and things like that, so we can prepare the team. And then we're just going to go about our business of, trying to make ourselves better. And if we do that, I think we'll be great. And then UTV is also struggling a little bit, but every time they come here, they play us really hard.
Lady Buff Soccer also on the road this last weekend as they took a trip to Texas Women's and Texas A&M Commerce. First on Friday, the Lady Buffs saw Texas Women's University and ended up with a 2-1 victory down in Denton. And then yesterday, the Lady Buffs taking on the Texas A&M Commerce Lions and ended up losing that one 0-2. Up next for Lady Buff Soccer, they will be at home this weekend. First on Friday, they'll see Angelo State, and on Sunday, they'll see UT Permian Basin. WT men's cross country took a trip up to Stillwater, Oklahoma for the Cowboy Jamboree this last weekend. Buffs ended up with the overall 5th place finish, with Blake Whalen finishing top spot for the Buffs. Whalen ended up with a 14th overall finish, scoring 11 points for the Buffs.
Well, it was an interesting scenario. A lot of the Division II teams entered the university race with the Division I schools, and I guess there's a Division I rule that more than a third of the teams can't be D2. So it was a fairly limited field. I think 8-9 teams in the D1 race, and they ended up kicking everyone else out of that race and left us in. So it was an interesting dynamic. And then the conditions were probably as bad as I've had a team run in. It was 84 degrees at race time, and when you're running a 5-mile race, it's pretty tough. And it got to some of our guys. Our 1 and 2 had to actually, one of them dropped out, and one of them stopped in the middle of the race, and so we had to have some guys come in and step up, and they actually did. I mean, we finished 5th in the field of Division I teams, and finished right behind Stephen F. Austin, who's arguably the best team in the Southland.
Up next for the Buffs, they'll get to race at home on the range on October 7th, so be sure to come out and support the Buffs then.
I think it'll be a small meet. I'm going to run probably a B squad at that meet, and I have 3 spots available for the conference team, and those guys are going to be racing for those spots. So it's pretty black and white. They got to go get it. The top 3 guys will move on to conference, and then I'll take the rest of the guys over to Fort Hays, and we'll run against some of the RMAC schools and some of the MIAA schools, and really see how we stack up nationally in Division II.
Women's cross country will also be competing at the Buffalo Stampede, and so be sure to come out and check them out as well. Women's golf last week took a trip up to Arizona where they participated in the Western New Mexico Fall Intercollegiate. Lady Buffs struggled this last week, finishing a 12th place in that tournament.
Well, when we went to Western New Mexico's tournament in Phoenix this past week, we were just coming off a win, and the girls were playing really good. We're a very young team this year, and it showed. We had a few super errant shots that cost us doubles, triples, and quads. And when you're doing that, you just really can't score very well on the golf course. So luckily it's September and not April or May, so we're addressing some of those issues and learning some go-to shots under nerves. And we're really gearing up for our home tournament. Well, right now we've been playing 3 new girls. One of our top girls from last year, Kayla Milholland, will be joining us again this week. She had surgery on her hand at the 1st of August, so we're excited to have her back because she's definitely a key component in our top 5. But we'll be a good mix between the returners and the new girls.
Up next for the Lady Buffs, they'll host their home tournament on Monday and Tuesday at the Tascosa Golf Club in Amarillo, so be sure to go check out your Lady Buffs there. Folks, thank you for joining us this week on Heard That. Don't forget to keep up with all of your favorite sports on GoBuffsGo.com with live stats, live streaming, and all live updates. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.